Welcome back to the Desk Talk podcast with your hosts, Trent Werner and Alex.SMagala, bringing you weekly episodes talking business, personal development, and all things real estate. Let's do it! All right, Alex, today, are you ready to talk David versus Goliath in real estate and residential financing?
I am. What does that mean to you, though?
We kind of came up with this title, for lack of a better word. Topic, yeah. Because so many people get caught up in single brokers or local brokerage companies when it comes to real estate and financing, competing against big box companies. And I'm sure everyone has heard of them. But we wanted to just discuss today what it's like being a local broker in the mortgage world and in the real estate world, and how that compares to the big box companies, how to quote unquote compete with the big box companies, and some ways to set yourself apart from those companies as a local broker.
Yep. It also stems a lot from, you hear it so much of the people who quote unquote fail in our industry, and it's because of the big people. It's because they have so much market share, and it's just excuse after excuse after excuse that they throw out, when in reality it boils down to you as the person. You have so much potential yourself, so go out and do something. You can't compete against these people, really. You shouldn't look at them as competition in my eyes. It's one of my main points that I have, is to not fear them as competition. Make them compete on your level. So,
absolutely. And I think being a local broker, it's easy to get wrapped up in that. But you also have to realize that there's so much business out there that you don't need to compete with other people. There's business out there for everyone that's willing to find it, right?
100%. And I guess I have like 4 main points in the lending side of things, competing against like these big box online mortgage companies. And I don't know how many points you might have, but one of my main first points is when you look at it, it's the marketing budget. Mm-hmm. When you're going to compare me against Rocket Mortgage or Quicken Loans, I don't have $100 million to spend on marketing every year. I can't go sponsor PGA Golf every weekend, MLB, NFL, like all the major sporting events they sponsor, and they're putting their money to sell a product, quote unquote sell, because that's the only way that they're really going to sell it, is by promoting it through marketing. So it's just like, when you take that and when I'm going to go up against that person, it's just like, why am I even trying to bat in the same ballpark as them? I'm not. I don't have that money. Like, there's a different avenue to take. You can bat in a different ballpark and be way better off than spending thousands and thousands of dollars trying to compete against millions. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I also think there's some truth to the fact that you can build a business and spend very little dollars on marketing at all.
I mean, some people build businesses with zero marketing. It's all word of mouth.
Yeah, solely referral business. And that was one thing that I wanted to talk about in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, I want to say, is the guy who wrote it, from Keller Williams. He talks about there's a couple different ways that you can build a business. He's referring to the real estate brokerage business, but it's the same for lending. It's the same for any financial service, banking, whatever it may be. You can build your business on a relational approach or a transactional approach, meaning, are you going to build your relationships? Are you going to nourish those relationships, nurture them until they become friendships, long-lasting friendships or relationships at the very least with your clients, and they're more likely to refer you? Or are you going to try to just crush numbers? And I've seen it work both ways. Personally, I've decided to take the relational approach. I enjoy becoming closer with other people and building relationships with other people. And so I can tap into their referral systems. Not that that's like my sole goal, because I just enjoy growing my network as well.
It's like being authentic when you're doing that. You're out meeting people, but you're building authentic relationships that in the end are going to bring you business. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's not your end goal. That's just the result of the work that you put in.
Yeah.
It's something you earn. And it's like, you earn that opportunity. You weren't given it. You earned that. You earned it by being a part of their life and providing value. Mm-hmm. So I guess, are we just going to go back and forth on this?
Let's just talk.
Okay.
Just have a conversation, bro.
All right.
Just be easy with it.
The biggest thing that I was going to point out in residential financing is the fact, when you're going to compete against a big box lender, you're competing against a call center. So it's really not hard at the end of the day to offer a one-on-one personal touch approach and be able to give more value than someone who's just hammering the phones.
I have yet to see or know anyone of my close acquaintances in the business to have closed a deal with a computer financing company.
Because they don't do purchases.
Refi?
So a lot of their business is refinances, and it's because, and it's literally another one of my points that you get plagued with is it's the con versus the truth. So with these like online lenders, you're going to fall into the con. Mm-hmm. You're going to get this, you're duped into signing up for a mortgage program because you were advertised this low rate, and then you get into the door and all of a sudden everything switches. They start pulling the strings out from under you, and it's a different ball game once you're in the door, but their marketing got you in the door. Yeah. And now you're batting on their ball field. They have you by technically the balls because you've given them all their information and you don't really have any power left.
Don't get grabbed by the balls by a big box company. Lesson number 1.
And it's like, it's crazy too. You think about it. So Rocket Mortgage, they also own like Lower My Bills. Yeah. They like all these websites where people are thinking it's a different company that they're looking into, and it's all funneling back into the same company.
All those big companies that, work in the online space, I heard there's just like thousands of brokerage companies that they own just doing business as a different name. Oh,
they're owned by, they had an IPO. So, I mean, most people are probably going to know about this, but Rocket Mortgage came out with an IPO and everyone was freaking out like, oh my gosh, it's going to end the mortgage world. Everything is going online. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why? Why are you even trying to think about competing with them? Focus on your lane, stay in your lane. Yeah. You'll be completely fine. Like, they're in their own lane, you're in your own lane. They can't compete with you.
Yeah. There's something to say too, and I feel like nowadays everyone is so online oriented, don't want to leave your house, get stuff done, Geico can save you 15 minutes or less if you go online. All that stuff is online.
Well, they changed their slogan now. Yeah, 50 years of savings and service.
Okay. No free ads. What was I going to say? Oh, everything is so online, but there's still that level of service that a human can give you that literally will never be taken away by an online anything. No matter how much AI they have.
I mean, when you're talking a real person versus like a call center, for example, your communication is 9 to 5. It's the only time they're in the office. You're only going to get to communicate with them 9 to 5. Weekends, nope. Wait till Monday. If you have any questions with these people, you are stuck trying to answer your own questions because they're never around to talk. Yeah. You're going to call the number that they provided you, and it's not even a direct dial number. You're not going to get the same LO in quotes that you're even talking to in the beginning. It's so many different people throughout this transaction. So it's very unpersonal. Yeah. The communication is horrible. And it's a somewhat slower process because there's so much bouncing around versus when you talk about working with someone like myself, you're going to get communication tailored to whatever style that you want, whether you want a ton of communication, you want little communication, maybe it's right in the middle, whether it's text, email, phone calls, it's just like whatever. That's something we figure out in our initial conversation when we're talking with these people. Yeah. And we're figuring out you as a person. The person behind the phone isn't figuring out you. They're not caring about like your best interests. They don't know what you want long term. They don't know if you're planning for kids, if you're planning for college. There's so many questions that go into it, and it's just like these people don't answer them.
They just want to get the deal done.
It's a number.
Approach.
It's a number, not a person.
Profit loss.
Yeah.
That's all they care about. That was one thing that I want to talk about. Any business is going to care about their profit loss, obviously, or else they wouldn't be in business if they just lost a bunch of money, didn't make any money. I feel that big box companies care more or too much about their P&L and not their level of service. And we keep going back to this level of service. I have told people countless times, you can go try to get a loan online at a bank, credit union, all that stuff. But if they have a tough file, online's a no-go. Bank or credit union is going to be a way harder.
If you're self-employed, kiss it goodbye.
Yeah, and
they're not going to even care.
It's okay to pay a little bit more for that service that you're going to get from a person like you that's going to be able to pay, all right, you're self-employed, that's okay. This is what we got to do. This is the way to make it happen. Yeah, you might pay a little bit more, but at the end of the day, you're going to get the thing done instead of banging your head on a concrete wall trying to go to bank, to credit union, to bank, to online, back to the bank. Like, it's going to kill you because you're going to keep going back and forth, when if you would just be like, all right, it's worth the extra money, let's go get it done. And it's better to get in the game and then wait than it is to wait to get in the game, right? So
I couldn't tell you how many times people go to Rocket Mortgage and then go through the whole process, and it's 20, 30 days, and then all of a sudden, last minute, it's, oh yeah, we can't do it.
Yeah, I've heard.
So
I've heard
what? We
more
just
of those than
and they waste they make them pay their refinance, or not their refinance, their appraisal.
Yeah.
They make them do like everything. They pay everything up front versus there's so many lenders out there where, you know, at the end of the day, if a transaction doesn't happen through me, like a credit report fee and all that, we don't parlay that off onto you. That just hits our branch. Mm-hmm. Those companies parlay it off onto you. They make you pay that.
Once again, going back to the bigger companies care too much
money.
About their P&L and not you creating a better future for yourself, your family, whoever you maybe purchase home for.
It's 100% about money to these fools, and that is all that matters. And most of it you'll see, like, it comes out in the CEOs and how they talk and what they're doing. Like, the way they talk, it's just more about capturing market share, getting more, and it's just like, keep getting more, and like all they want to take over, and it's just like, ugh.
Well, and we've talked before about the whole adage of we don't do what we do for the money. We do what we do to help people and create a better future for someone else. Because me personally, if I positively impact someone, that means more to me than any commission check that I've got. And
money's the byproduct of what we do.
Exactly.
That's what I say. It's a result of what we do. We put in the work up front. We help people, and money's the byproduct. You can't expect us not to get paid for the job that we do. Mm-hmm. It's like there's people out there where you work a service level job, and someone comes in and gets that service performed, and they expect to not pay for it because they're like your friend, or it's just like, that doesn't make sense in the service industry. When you're helping people out and you're there for their better good, it doesn't make sense not to be rewarded for it. We get paid because we're helping people out.
Imagine a world trying to go through a home purchase with a financed loan by yourself, no help.
Oh, or by yourself, just all online help, where you're getting hit with ad after ad after ad. Like, if you do research online by yourself, and everyone's going to fall victim to this, you go and type in Google about like mortgage right now, the first probably 7 things you're going to see are ads. Mm-hmm. People upping their page to try and get them in front of you. And then the next page is not even still going to be stuff about mortgages that you want to know. It's going to be articles, but in those articles, there's all these different links back to Linktree, back to Bankrate, back to all these different companies that just are, it's a funnel. It's a giant funnel. The internet is a giant funnel. Google just brings you in this funnel and spits you out into companies' data books, and now they have your information, and they're going to start hammering your phone. It's like you fill out your email and your phone online about a mortgage, you're going to get
talking about
hammered.
The social dilemma now.
Hammered.
Did you just watch that or something?
No, I haven't even watched it yet. I've heard it's pretty bad. I just know because that's the style that I was taking when I first got into the mortgage industry, because that's what it was preached. The first person that I was approached with was like, oh, hey, you got to do what they're doing. If they're funneling leads in, then you have to funnel leads in, but you just do it on a macro level. And I was like, or a micro level. I was like, wait, my first main point here, how am I, like, my thousands to their millions, so what? It doesn't matter. It's just pointless. It's not even worth going down that path to fight that battle. So go away from it. Figure out something else you can do. One of my main points is literally the fact that, don't compete with them. Make them come down to your level and try and compete with you. Like, do your own thing, get in such your own lane that they start to worry about you. That should be your focus. Not worried about them and what they're doing 24/7. They're not your competitor. You yourself are your own competitor.
Yeah.
As a real estate agent, as a lender, anyone in our industry, you yourself is your biggest competitor. Because you tell yourself, oh, I can't do that. I can't go out and do that. Can't go out and do that. They're doing something better. They're spending more money here.
Okay, but why? We want to know why. Why would you want to be David? Obviously, David beat Goliath, duh. But what's better about working at a local brokerage than getting punched in the face with ads on the internet?
Are you trying to talk from like my side or the consumer side? Because like from my side,
your side,
like the speech that is going to like be protruded is the fact that you're dealing with someone who's, in my eyes, rock star LO.
Yeah.
Cough, cough. Anyways, you're dealing with a rock star LO who is literally out there for your best interest 24/7. I'm sitting down, I'm figuring out your entire plan to know how to structure your loan in a way that it's going to be best for you in the future. versus a company that is going to advertise and trap you and dupe you into a 2.75 interest rate. And then all of a sudden now you're getting a 3.625 and it's a 30-year mortgage. You know, it's just all this new information to you. You don't feel like you've been educated. My entire piece is to try and make it so someone comes to me and leaves knowing everything about a mortgage. Any question that's not asked is a dumb question. That's something I tell everyone. My phone's available almost all the time. If I'm asleep, I'll just get back to you in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's not something where I'm only 9 to 5 and you're not going to catch me after business hours.
Nah.
It's a personal touch. There's just so much that we do local that they can't ever do local. Feet on the ground. We know the market. They don't know the market.
They think they know the market.
Their marketing knows the market.
Fact.
Because they're just duping you into their marketing system.
Okay, but we don't want to make it a negative about Goliath here. We want to talk about the positives with David. All right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not really. My main focus is just like I don't even think about competing against them. I'm not looking at them as like a Goliath. They're just not in my lane.
Okay, I like that.
They have a 9.2% market share. Do you know how small that is?
It's 9.2%. Yeah.
Cool. I don't care.
All right.
It's like you can just bring up so much about them. And it's just like it doesn't matter. It doesn't faze me.
We don't want to talk negatively on these people. We want to discuss why people should work with us rather than them. And like you said, I did like what you said. They're not even in the picture, and I feel the same way. I could care less about what their marketing is, what they're doing for other people, how they're twisting words to gain leads, all that stuff. Everyone has to market somehow. They choose to spend a lot of money on it, and they choose to hit it online, on TVs, radio, all that stuff. However, we spend time doing stuff in the community, going to networking events, meeting people, helping people learn about the business, learn about the process. I've never once turned down another new realtor asking me a question about something. Absolutely not. I'd love to help them out because it just grows the adage of personal local realtors instead of the big companies.
We're in this together.
Yeah,
like
everyone has to.
We shouldn't be
work
fighting
together.
each other. Like the Davids are all banding together in this situation. It's like we are all going after the same thing.
Exactly. And one other point that I wanted to make about being there for your sphere. We've touched on it before. Obviously, it's been a touchy subject in our lives. But when you have a friend that is working with a local company, go work with them. Everyone's so caught up right now in supporting local and keeping their favorite local restaurants in business. So they're going to go there. They're going to order out with the whole COVID pandemic that we're experiencing. But what about your local service providers, financial advisors, bankers, realtors, lenders, all of those services, gym people,
There's, so much. Personal trainers. Yeah.
All of them, they need you right now. But they need you all the time, too, because it's, like we're talking about, it is a competition of how do I stay feeding my family, how do I stay in business, all this stuff. If someone's working hard, they're going to have the knowledge. I would argue that they're going to have more knowledge, like you're talking about, of the local market than any other big company.
Well, that, too, and most of the time, for, like, your instance, you're going to know a lot more about every community versus just specific Portland. For like the lending side of things, there's so many products, and it's like as a call center employee, they don't know those products to heart. They just know where to bring you in and get you there. Versus me, it's like each product has a certain person that's going to fit that realm. And if I'm asking you questions and you say all of a sudden that you want to live out away from town, then it's like, okay, well, how much down payment do you want to put down? Oh, maybe USDA does make sense for you in this situation. It's just like
Oregon grant programs.
You start to really figure out what they want, and you compare it best versus talking with an online lender. It's the same thing. We said it in one of our very first episodes, or maybe I did. Maybe I'm just freaking out and thinking I did. But it's the idea that, buying a home is one of the biggest investments you're going to make in your life. And if you look at the godforsaken, unfortunate situation, all of a sudden you have a crazy medical issue and you have to go in and say you have to get like brain surgery. That's going to be a very big piece in your life that you're going to want to do a lot of research on. Are you going to go online and start to type in like brain doctor and then just pick the first brain doctor that you see because his ad is rolling and then go in and get your brain surgery done?
Or are you going to start trying to diagnose yourself on WebMD and freak yourself out?
It's like, no, you're going to go in person
to a doctor you trust.
To a doctor that you trust, get referrals from tons of different friends who might have been in the same situation or might know someone because their network is a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, now you've got 7 doctors that you're going to meet with and you're having a legit interview for. You're interviewing them for the job. It's the same thing with like mortgages and stuff.
I like to think of myself as a real estate doctor. If I could get a PhD in real estate, I think I'd go back to school. I just thought about that. I'm a real estate doctor.
You make the program, you can go and teach it. But then you're a teacher. You're not a real estate doctor.
Nah, I want to be a doc.
That's the issue.
Realtor doc. Doc realtor. I don't know. Anyway.
Back to the topic.
Yeah. I got a little sidetracked.
Way sidetracked there.
I agree with you. I think if you have a big decision to make in your life, you might as well make it with someone you trust, someone your friend trusts, your mom trusts, your cousin, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, someone you work with. Get a referral. We've talked about it. I'm a huge advocate. Everyone needs a guy, gal, or they or them. Whether it's an electrician, plumber, banker, financial advisor, handyman, contractor. Everyone needs someone that they can pick up the phone, call, and say, hey, my toilet's leaking. What do I do? Or this light bulb just exploded. I tried to put in a new chandelier, and I might have wired it wrong. Can you walk me through it? Or can you come over and help me? Or, hey, such and such is about to IPO. I'm about to go big on crypto or invest in this financial advisor person. What should I do? That's important. And same thing goes for real estate.
You need to find someone who has that network and is willing to share it with you.
And ask
AKA someone who's local and who does this daily for their job. Like, my network is open to anyone that is coming in and getting a loan through me.
Mine's too.
I'm referring them out to anyone that I know.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If they have a question about anyone, it's an immediate referral. Yes, I got someone. And if I don't, like, literally, what did we do 2 nights ago? I was like, hey,
ask me.
Don't have a referral guy for commercial loans. Like, do you know anyone?
I didn't know anyone.
Didn't know anyone. You reached out to your owners. They knew someone. They got back. So it's just like, if we don't know, we go and find an answer immediate for someone. That's like our job is hunt down answers. If I don't know it off the top of my head, I'm going to hunt it down for you and get it back to you ASAP.
Yeah.
That's my job. It make you more educated, more fluid with this industry, so it's not as scary. It's a very daunting time. Holy crap, I'm going to go and put $350,000 of debt under my name because that's what it's classified as.
But boy, howdy, is it fun. It's really fun. You should all do it. Anyone that's listening, just go put debt in your name for a house.
Just do it.
Not a car, not a boat, not a jet ski.
Don't
house.
even go down that rabbit hole.
We're not going down it right now. However, I wanted to ask you, aside from that personal connection and having local market knowledge, what is another way that you feel someone working with you is going to benefit more than someone working with even another local person, aside from a big
I guess company? 2 things. The biggest is when you get down to the weeds of it, I'm the same exact as a Rocket Mortgage. You just get that personal touch. Yes, everything that you do with me is online through an app. All documents are submitted online through an app. Everything is the exact same process-wise, except you get to deal with a real person.
Yeah, but you can't go to Rocket Mortgage and say, hey, this doc just came through. Can you walk me through it on a video call, or can we open up at the same time?
That's what I'm saying. Is you're getting a real person who's going to be able to answer any question, anytime, and is going to be there for you. Now, that is the second piece to where me against another local person who's willing to sit there at 7 o'clock and answer a phone call and go through questions with you or review a loan estimate or review your closing disclosures. Not many people do that. I only know probably 2 or 3, and they sit out of my own office. Most LOs in our industry are simple. They don't like, communication isn't even strong for them. Simple updates to a realtor. Tuesdays and Fridays, I have an update schedule. It's like everyone involved in our transaction, communication is so strong that there's no leaks. It's going to be a closed transaction versus you go to a Goliath or you go to someone else who communication might be botched, might drop the ball, closing a little late, things like that. There goes a lot into it when you can have a perfect smooth transaction theoretically every time. But that's setting the expectation up front, making sure everyone is on page, both sides, real estate, buyers, sellers, lender, title. I'm the captain of the ship when I get a loan. I'm controlling every direction we're going. Everyone involved is on my page. We're keeping everyone in the loop the way that we need to, and the ship keeps going. There's not much that will sway us off course.
Captain Phillips, baby.
Nothing will. There you go. That's my little spiel.
Welcome to his TED Talk. No free.
I got really serious there.
I know you kind of got into it. I mean, people listen on the podcast won't be able to see it, but people watching the video,
Vlogcast,
they'll be able to see it. He was intense there for a second. Okay, now
I guess let's throw the same question right back at you.
I think the transparent communication and the open communication is probably the biggest thing, obviously. Aside from just working with this doctor real estate that I am, I would say I build relationships with people. All of my past clients are, even if they weren't friends of mine before, I would say to some degree are friends of mine now. I've even gone to New Year's Eve parties at my clients' houses that I've sold them.
I haven't seen half of my clients' faces, but I'd say I have some of the strongest communication post-closing still with them, where it's like emailing me daily, asking me questions about stuff still, and it's like I'm still talking to them because they're not a number to me. They're a person. They're in my network for life.
I would say that's probably the biggest difference for me is just I have a problem. I want to be friends with everyone. No matter who you are, what you do, where you're at, like I'm down to be friends with people that think the same way as me or want to think how I do, or I want to think how they do, or, there's some symbiotic relationship going on, whether it's someone that's an electrician and I want to learn how to install a ceiling fan, or someone who's a freaking meat mountain in the gym and I want to be less fat. I want to hang out with those type of people. I want to communicate with them. And I think that's the biggest thing is, we might be a small company. We might have only a handful of brokers that work here, but we're good at what we do. I would put our team up against anyone else because I feel like I'm that confident in us that we could hang with anybody, no matter how many mentorship classes they might have, no matter how many brokers and cool signs and letterheads that they have. That
free marketing materials and free education and it's like what they advertise to just bring you into the system and produce numbers for the top agents.
I want to be able to call my principal broker any time of the day and be like, hey.
And it be a relationship like you have here.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because I know it's kind of a problem in my business. I don't want to see if it's a problem in your business. And this is a little bit of a tangent, but not really. Do you have a problem with saying yes?
No.
Like you can, if someone in a time where you don't technically need to or want to go out and show a home, but they want to go out and see it, and you're okay with telling them no, like let's wait. Because I have a problem with just like 7:30 p.m. I get a call, and it's like, hey, like I want something like this, and I immediately start working on it. Like I just drop everything to work on it.
No, I actually had the situation pop up today. I was supposed to close a deal, it was supposed to close today. It's actually closing tomorrow now. I was
botched closing. Yeah. Doesn't happen with me.
So I was supposed to close the deal today, and I had to get the keys, and we weren't sure if it was going to record till later in the day, so the key handoff probably would have been right around 5. I had a showing in Aloha, which is about this time of day. It's about 20. I think it took 28 minutes to get home. So I had to go from Aloha to my house to get some clothes because I was going to go on a bike ride after the closing got canceled. But originally I was going to have to go showing, straight to keys, and then come right here. But my client couldn't get to the house until 8:30 tonight because work has been crazy for him. So I wasn't going to actually be there to hand off the keys. And my wife was saying, don't you think that would take precedence, for your client, blah, 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 to hand the keys off? And I go, I have a schedule too. I'm busy right now. And I have to stick to that schedule. So if it doesn't work for them, I have to just be up front and let them know. Same thing for a showing. Hey, I want to go see this property tonight. Well, I have a meeting at 5:30. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Can we go a little bit earlier? Or maybe someone else can cover for me and go do it?
I guess when you are busy and there's something in the way, like obviously that's an easy scapegoat. But I'm saying open night.
Open night.
Is it an easy, you can easily say yes, but like at some point there's going to be a level of where we need to be able to say no.
I cut it off at 8 p.m.
Yeah. See, so that's I need to start setting a time. I mean, obviously, if you're a super close friend and we're on like a text-to-text basis, yes, like I'll respond to text. But I'm telling you, phone calls like 7:30, 8 at night, like very open to answering them. And I do most of the time. But it's the work right after where it's like I need to be able to mentally be like, nah, wait till the morning to do that.
It's going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Tell me this. What could you possibly get done at 8 p.m. for a transaction?
I think it just shows like an audience what I go to for like a length of showing you like my speed to respond, my assertiveness in the deal. Like I'm going to be there like right away. I'm not going to sit here, see your message and be like, nah, like, let's just throw that to the side.
I'll respond to a text. I'll take a quick phone call. If someone's saying, hey, we want to see this tomorrow at 5, and they're calling me, texting me, I'll pick it up and say, cool, I'll schedule it in the morning. And that's it. But it's not, hey, we want to see these places tomorrow. And I'm like texting other agents to schedule them because I know they don't want to be working right now. I'll put a note on my phone. I'll do it in the morning because it's going to be there. And, submitting docs to title or whatever. What good does it do at 8 p.m. when they're going to get into the office at 8 in the morning and you could send it at 8 in the morning and they're going to see it the same way?
Yeah. I mean, the only time I know if I'm going to like submit docs and stuff like that, and I know it's going to get seen is if I've communicated with like the underwriter and been like, hey, can you stay 30 minutes late? I'm going to get these submitted to you 5:15. Like, please. And they end up doing. But
and it's situational because sometimes shit's hitting the fan and there's fires all over the place.
I was going to say,
and you have to put them out that day or else the whole thing falls apart.
When it's like a realtor calls you at 8:30 and there's a big problem and you have to get like something submitted. Yeah. It's like, yes, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
But I was going to say,
that's few and far between though.
Client base is where I struggle the most with saying no. Or it's not really even a no. It's just a,
you're not doing anything else. Let's get it done.
Not yet.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I learned from my first partner in real estate was to kind of shut it down and be okay with missing phone calls and missing emails. Not necessarily missing them, but choosing not to respond to them or pick them up at a given time because you don't want to burn out. You don't want to work 24/7 and not spend time with your friends, not spend time with your family because, I'm working. That's a dud move. You don't want to be dud guy.
Yeah.
Because you have to take time for yourself because once again, it's going to be there in the morning. Life's too short to just work your face off 24/7. Yeah, you might make a ton of money and, have all cool cars and stuff, but that's not what life is about.
Oh, yeah. You want freedom. You're not chasing money. You're chasing freedom.
Exactly. You want to be able to do what you want when you want.
Yeah, freedom is exactly what you just said.
Exactly.
Do what you want when you want.
You got anything else?
That was a pretty big tangent. I was literally just about to choose the same question. Anything on your real estate side of things that you can think of?
Oh, yeah. For an agent. So let's say you're a new agent, just got your license. You want to go join a company, hang your license there, and get rolling in business. I would recommend starting with a bigger company that has some infrastructure put together, some processes, some classes, mentors, because that's how you're going to learn and you're going to grow in your first year. Join a team if you can join a team because that'll teach you a lot. But once you get comfortable...
Didn't Brian say that? Didn't we have Brian Lessinger on and he said join a team too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of importance that goes